Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's a beautiful Friday morning. It is April 21st, 2023. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings this time to discuss strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. So we have an announcement. I don't know, it's a big announcement, but an announcement, and I think it'll be a good resource for you. So what is shared on the screen, should be shared on the screen, is the guaranteedfunding.org website. Now, this is the same as your replicated website that we provide to each of you for free. There is a new tab as of this morning on the main website and on each of your replicated sites, and that's what I'm on now. The funding interview. This is a very simple page, but we'll describe its purpose. But before we do that, let's make sure that we understand the sales cycle. So with the sales cycle, we need to start with generating awareness. And from awareness building, we have leads. And from leads, we want to convert them to become clients. And from that, then you get paid, as well as the client getting the desired benefits that they're expecting. So today, we're going to talk about just one aspect of the sales cycle continuum, specifically closing leads. So we have a lead and we need to close them. What we have tried, I guess you could say that we've beta tested. What has proven to be effective is either doing a three-way call or you simply punting the client to us and allowing us to close the client. We're averaging about a 92, 93% close rate. So, and it's not too good to be true, and I can describe why it's so high. But the point on today's training is to let you know that there's a new tab on our main website, as well as on each of the replicated websites that allow you to very simply point the client over. They click on funding interview, and then they're able to click to schedule a call. This page was developed to be optimized on mobile devices. So it looks fine here, a bit sparse, but we're not trying to pitch them on anything. We're not trying to explain anything. We're just simply trying to provide a conduit so that they can schedule an interview to get their questions asked and determine if they qualify. So if you were to pull this page up on your smartphone, it looks really good. It looks a little sparse on a desktop, but nonetheless, it essentially only has one call to action, although it's repeated at the top and repeated at the bottom. You might ask why it's repeated. Well, website experts, which I'm not one, talk about being above the fold. So when you go to this page on your smartphone, it may very well be that this is below where you'd have to scroll down to see it. So we don't want to risk losing people. So we provide a hyperlink here as well as down here. If you are one of our white label partners, we should be developing a similar approach, but it would just be branded to you and directing them to you. But if you're an affiliate, this is exactly how it would work. So based upon clicking on either of these two, it takes the prospect to our Calendly page. Again, if you're a white label partner, that link's going to take them to your scheduling page. If you're an affiliate, it's going to take them to this page. And it just reiterates, well, it's a 15-minute phone call. Schedule a call to determine if you qualify for a new grant-subsidized program to provide a minimum of $100,000 to start or grow a business. And then they have, and this is a live feed here, so there's no openings today, lots of openings next week. So what they do is they pick on the day that they're interested in. I'll walk you through it. Let's just say Monday. And then there's all these slots they can pick from. So let's say they pick 9 a.m. Now notice this is central. If they're in a different time zone, they can click. Calendly attempts to match through the IP address what time zone they're in. But of course, it's important that we're all on the same page in terms of what time we're supposed to actually call them. But let's say they want the 24th, the next available date, first available time. by default, Central Time Zone is because that's where we are. If they're in Eastern Time Zone, it will default to that. And it even confirms, oh, by the way, what time is it right now? Because some people are not very sharp and they don't even know what time zone they're in, but it tells them, well, it's 8:05 in Central right now. So then they click next, and it brings up and asks for just a couple pieces of information. What is your name? We need to know who we're calling. What is their email address? They can add guests. So again, if you want to be part of these calls, you want three-way calls, you can schedule these and have your prospect on it. The phone number, which of course we need, we ask just really, not really qualifying questions, but 3 questions to prepare for the call. How much funding are they looking for? What are they going to use that for? Called use of funds. And then how soon? And they need to pick one of these 3. Can't pick multiple. To find out urgency. If they want to get text reminders, then they would put that in, and then they schedule the event. Real simple. So again, if you're an affiliate, we do this for you for free to help you close more deals, no cost, no reduction of your commission, and it's very, very effective. I'll talk about what we do during the call in a moment, but if you're a white label partner, then you're going to want to replicate this, and we can get that set up for you. So we can get your website set up. We're doing that for free now for white label partners. We'll add this tab, and then that tab will link to your scheduling link, not ours, if you're a white label partner. Because as a white label partner, you're going out under your own branding and have your own logo, your picture, your description. If you're an affiliate, this is exactly how it would work. So pretty straightforward, and we announced the availability of this earlier this month, and we've had great success. We've had hundreds and hundreds of people, I don't know the exact number, but a lot of people have scheduled funding interviews, and we close most of the people. Now, let's talk about why our close rate is so high, because it's not a hard close, by the way, but I'll describe why the close rate is so high. If you're a white label partner, you may seek to replicate this. So what I do is each day I'm looking at my Calendly, my appointments that I have coming up, which of course is a different screen. I don't know, I showed you this now, but anyway, I look at my calendar for the day coming up. And so let's say on Monday, the 24th, all these spots are filled, which is fine. So on my view, I see who is scheduled, their email, their phone, how much funding they need, their uses of funds, and the time frame, just like we showed. So I prepare for that. So I see the calls, and what I'll go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and send each of those people on my schedule the agreement in advance, the credit and funding agreement in advance of the call. So it goes to them via Adobe. And Alfred's asking about tracking, and we'll get to tracking in just a moment. Good question, Alfred. But before the call, I will have sent them the Adobe packet. So here's kind of the secret sauce to having a high closing rate, in addition to having competence in what you're talking about. So let's just role play. So let's say it is Carlos. And so Carlos is scheduled at this time. I give him a call. First thing I'm going to do when I call Carlos is confirm that he remembers he scheduled this call, because I'm not calling soliciting him. I'm calling him because he asked for a funding interview. So it'd be something like this. Hey, Carlos, Thomas Montgomery from Guaranteed Funding. I see that you'd scheduled a call for us this morning at this time to learn more about the Grant-Subsidized credit and funding program and to see if you qualify. Do you remember scheduling that, Carlos? And if he says no, then I'm not going to spend more time, because I need the mindset of the call to be that the prospect has scheduled, and they've scheduled to see if they qualify. Now, I'm here to answer their questions, but I'm not here to beg and plead them to get $100,000. If Carlos has got some fucking better idea to go get $100,000, you go do it, Carlos. But they're scheduling the call with us to see if they qualify, right? And that's what we say. Now, we're not going to force it down the throat. We're going to answer their questions. But then I want to start the call or I want to pivot the call then to the information they've provided. Because in this hypothetical example, Carlos has told me how much money he wants, what he's going to use it for, and the time frame, right? I showed you a moment ago, and we can go back and look at that. So when Carlos scheduled, he filled out how much funding he needs, what he's going to use it for, and the time frame. So I want to connect the conversation to Carlos and his needs, because he doesn't really care about me. He just wants his needs met, right? He wants a certain amount of funding for a certain purpose in a certain time frame, right? So I'm all about Carlos. I'm not about me. I'm about Carlos. How do I solve Carlos's problem? So then we have a little bit of small talk about that. I try to control it because otherwise some people will go on and on and on. And I'd say, Carlos, great. This sounds like a perfect fit for you. Could you please check your email? And of course, we've got his email when we scheduled. Carlos, could you check your email, please? And you should see an Adobe packet in your email that says credit and funding program. I want to show you how the program works while we discuss it. So I want in this case, Carlos, to go to his email, pull up the Adobe packet for credit and funding. And of course, it doesn't look like this, but I'm just showing you the credit and funding page. And I want him to have it open. And then I'm going to walk him through it. And again, about 9 out of 10, a little bit better, but about 90% plus of people will follow that guidance and then fill out that Adobe right then when I'm on the phone with them. And that's why we get such a high close rate. One of the reasons. So competence, confidence, having it scheduled. Now, I will mention that with our funding interviews and Calendly, and we talked about this before, so forgive me if it's redundant, but once they schedule the date and the time that they want, remember, because they pick when they wanted it, we have 5 touches prior to the call. They're going to get email reminders 3 times. They're going to get text reminders twice. So they should not be surprised when I call them or whomever on our team calls them at the scheduled time. If they are, that's a red flag of they're probably not too with it. So they have requested the call. They've gotten 3 email reminders, 2 text reminders, and then here we call at the scheduled time. So that's a lot of touches. All right. So again, Alfred's asking about tracking. So that I don't want to digress from that. So if you're an affiliate, here's the way to do this. If you're an affiliate, step 1 is put your prospect on your landing page. Because remember, each of you have your own link as an affiliate link. Go to your affiliate link and put the prospect in the system. Now that prospect is linked to you. Because Alfred's exactly right. When we get over here, well, I guess not there. When we get over here to the funding interview, which links them to Calendly, it's not picking up the referral source. So to protect your interest, you want to start by putting your prospects in this form, and now it's linked to you. Even if they don't, you got to hit get started to save the information. But even if they don't sign the terms and conditions here, now they're in the system and they're linked to you. So then if they move on and they become an affiliate, now they're your sub-affiliate. They become a quick cash client, now they're your quick cash client. If they have a funding interview, now they're linked to you. So perfect point, Alfred. Step 1 is to get your prospect on your landing page in this form, then the funding interview. Okay, Timothy's asking, is it best practice for him, the affiliate, to schedule the interview with the prospects, or is it better for the prospect to do it themselves? Very good question. We want the prospect to be requesting the call. So what we do not want is, for instance, Pauline, who's one of our distribution partners. We'll just pick on Pauline for a minute. What we do not want Pauline to do is to go to our website or her link, click on schedule a call, and then schedule a bunch of people that are not expecting the call. We don't want to be making cold calls. We're not going to have 90% close rate. That's a mistake. It's best practice, as Timothy was alluding to, that the client, the prospective client, come here, they click, and they request it. If they're not committed enough to learn more, to see if they qualify by coming here, clicking on schedule a call, and scheduling their own call, then I'd be real hesitant to deal with them. Okay, so there is that. Carlos has the next question. Okay, his question's a little bit different, but that's fine. On the quick cash, which we've been talking a lot about, we've had a lot of enrollments in quick cash. You can monetize this whereby you're generating the client relationship. And so you don't have to be a white label partner nor even an affiliate, quite frankly. So if you want to monetize the quick cash, then what will happen is you'll introduce the quick cash to the prospective client. We know that there's a title transfer fee, which we've talked about in other trainings. The reason for that is we need to document the movement of receivables, the transfer, the conveyance of ownership from us to them. So it's legal and verifiable. So there is a $99.99 transfer fee for us to transfer the $10,000 through the quick cash client to the client. So if you want to mark that up to $200 or $199.99, which is what Carlos is asking about, you certainly can. Then the process is just slightly different. You collect the $200 from the client. You call your $100 a processing fee or an administrative fee. And then you will forward us our half, you keep the extra, and then you need to submit the client in here and just put in a note. Have already collected $199.99 from client, retain, and you don't have to type exactly this, I'm just showing what you could type, retained $100 for processing fee and forwarded $99.99 title transfer fee. And you'd want to tell us how you did that. Maybe it was sent via a wire on 4/21/23, or however you sent it. So the point is, if you want to monetize this, that's great. A lot of you are doing it. You collect the money from the client, typically $199.99, which is referenced here. You're keeping your half, you're forwarding our half for the title transfer fee, submit them here, and then we'll be able to match the payment you submitted to the prospect. Oh, go ahead and put your name on it. So let's say this came from Alfred. Misspelled from, didn't I? So it's that simple. So if you want to monetize quick cash, but keep in mind, in the big picture, normally what you're going to do is you're going to have people enroll both in credit and funding and quick cash. When they enroll in credit and funding, you're making a lot more. You're making 3 points off their capital raise. You're making at least $3,000. But in the case that if you're combining the two, which is what most of you are doing, the quick cash, if you want to essentially mark it up by 100, call it a processing fee, you keep that 100, send us the rest. So hopefully that answered your question, Carlos. All right, so who else has questions? All right, so Sarah's going back to the sales funnel. So you're right, we need to start with exposure, and then we need to generate leads. And then what we've talked about today is how we can help you close those leads by having your leads schedule a funding interview, going to this page, and then they'll be able to schedule. If you want to be part of those calls, you're welcome to be. You don't have to be. If they want their CPA to be part of those calls, great. Remember, because we said there's the ability to add a guest. And here's where they put in their guest email. They want to add their corporate counsel, fine. They want to add their banker, fine. They want to add their spouse or their mistress, I don't care. I mean, we're transparent. So they can have whomever else they want on there. Now we're going to call the specific person that has registered, and then they can invite up to 10 additional guests. It will be up to the client to three-way in those other people. But it's not required that you're on the call. All right, but I think I missed Sarah's point. So Sarah's point was more about she needs more leads. She needs more leads. And so we've had a number of different trainings. You can go to our YouTube channel, Business Paralegal, and see some past. We do have a potential new lead generation partner coming aboard. And thanks to Terrence. Terrence is one of our white label partners. He's a CPA in Illinois. So Terrence had found a gentleman who does pay-per-click marketing. He's actually out of Australia. And Terrence had mentioned that he had really good success. Terrence generated, and tell me if I'm wrong, Terrence, but Terrence said that he received 80 leads in 4 days from this marketer that operates kind of as a gig worker. And so it's like, wow. So we're running through a beta test now with them, not to question Terrence, but just to make sure that it works as well for us as it did for Terrence. And if so, then here in the next week or two, once we validated that, we will share his information with you, because he's very, very cheap and he does search engine optimization. So he'll create the little blurb or whatever he does to get that message out, and it drives lots of volume, or at least it did for Terrence. We're about to see if it does for us. So back to Sarah's point. So right, there's a sales process. We need to start with creating exposure. We need leads. We need to convert the leads into clients, and then you make money. Today's primary discussion was to let you know that we've added a new page to everyone's website, as well as the main website called Funding Interviews. Funding Interview, singular. It allows individuals to click on there. It brings up my Calendly link. If you're a white label partner, we'll modify your page so it brings up your scheduling system, of course, because white label partners close their own deals. We're offering to close deals for affiliates. If you're a white label partner and you need some help initially closing more deals, then go ahead and use this link in the interim. But long term, we need to get you independent and autonomous. That's the role of the white label partner. So we covered a lot. Hopefully that was helpful. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. We'll be back Monday morning, and let us know if you have any questions or need help. Thanks. Bye-bye.